Hi, this is part two of my World Cup tier ranking video. I had a 30-minute limit with Vidyard, so I stopped at the Republic of Ireland. I'll continue here with the rest of my teams here. About 15 or so teams left. Okay, next up we have Kosovo. Now, Kosovo, wow. The fact that they went to Sweden and won, and also won in Pristina. This tells you that they're an up and coming team with Asilani and Sadiku. But yeah, I think Kosovo are kind of I think yeah, they're a young team. I don't know if how they're going to fare in the playoffs. They have to go to Slovakia, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So Bratislava will be a tough away day for them. This is a team I think they would be group stage fodder. They're a nice story, but I don't see them. I don't see them getting past the group stage should they qualify. Argentina, probably these second favorites. Probably these second favorites after Spain. Pardon me here. Yeah, what is there to say about Argentina? Messi's still hungry for another one. He wants to go off on the high of highs, on top of the mountain. If Messi wins another World Cup, I consider Pele the best player ever. If Messi gets another one, I cannot contend against him anymore. He would have to be the greatest player of all time. They have everything they need. Emi Martinez, a host of strikers. They've added the young Nico Paz and Sule and other great players. So Argentina are among the favorites, the most experienced, and nobody wants to take this team in penalties. You are at an automatic disadvantage if you come against Emi Martinez. Lautaro did not have a great World Cup last time, so he needs to redeem himself. Julian and Lionel Messi were excellent, so if they have that trident of attackers, they're very, very, very difficult to beat. Not alone their midfield with Enzo and Alexis McAllister. So Argentina, yeah, in terms of experience, in terms of talent, in terms of coaching with Scaloni, they have no question marks at all. Romania, Romania are they're an interesting team. Dragusin and these guys, the days of Haji and Radu Choi and Petrescu are long gone, but Romania are slowly building back up. I saw them lose 3-0 to Canada at home, a little bit concerning there. So I would say knockout stage like they did with the Euros, like they did in the Euros, but no further than that. Um, a talented team, but I think defensively they can be found out a little bit. You know, I like how they play football. They play very expressive. It's a very expressive kind of football. But I think should they increase their talent pool, that would now help them get a little bit better in World Cups. Brazil, wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. Brazil are not favorites. They're just going to go at the very top of contenders. Pardon me here. Brazil are at the very top of contenders. No further than what's going on here. What is going? Pardon me here. Brazil are the top contender, not a favorite. This is probably the first World Cup in history that Brazil does not go in as one of the top three favorites. Fifth in South American Common Bowl qualifying. They really struggled, against pretty much every team. There's no team where they played well against in both legs, even Venezuela. So yeah, Neymar is a question mark, man. I don't want this guy to retire. You have more goals than Pele and Ronaldo, phenomenal, but you don't have a World Cup. It looks very, very bad. It's like going to a black family cookout. You didn't bring any food. It looks really, really bad. So for Neymar's sake, I hope Brazil can at least come very, very close. Don Carlo has done a good job with this team, but yeah, Brazil in terms of they have question marks in terms of their midfield. Can their midfield control a game? You saw what Croatia did to them at the last World Cup. If you can beat Brazil in the midfield, you can beat Brazil. Period. So they need dynamic playmakers. Maybe Neymar can be that guy as a central attacking midfielder and their goal scorers have got to score. So whether that's Richarlison, maybe try Igor Thiago, maybe try Evan Nielsen, maybe try Igor Jesus or Gabriel Jesus. I don't know, or Luis Enrique, which I really like. But they still need to score goals and they need to win a World Cup. This is Pele. Pele died in 2022. They must win a World Cup immediately for his honor. Immediately. Wales, Gales. Harry Wilson, in my opinion, is probably the most underrated player in the world. Wales have the unfortunate task of having to take down Italy if you're going to get to a World Cup. I assume Italy will beat Northern Ireland, our next team here on this list. So with Brennan Johnson, with Harry Wilson, with Ramsey and Bale are no longer there. Some of their up and comers like Ampadu and whatnot. It's a good team, solid Welsh team. They've really rebuilt very quickly, very talented. I think I think unfortunately because they're in Italy's group, it's going to be very difficult, man. They might have to play against the referees to even get there. So Wales, I would like to see Wales in another World Cup. If they get there, they would get to the knockout stage. I think so. I would have them in the knockout stage. They're a very talented team. I like how they destroyed North Macedonia. That was incredible. But I think um I think Wales don't do anything. They don't go any further than a round of 32. Like I said, Harry Wilson is arguably the most underrated player in the world. I would love to see him strut his stuff at a World Cup. But yeah, I think Wales, should they get to a World Cup, round of 32, but they may have to play against the referees against Italy because I don't know how Infantino, as an Italian FIFA president, would stand to see his country not qualify for another World Cup. One second here. Wales do have to play against Bosnia to start, so it may be premature for me to say that they're going to qualify. Yeah, Kiefer Moore, Nico Williams, Ben Davis. It's a talented Welsh team. Sorba Thomas, Daniel James, Ethan Brooks, man. I like Wales. I really like their team. They're fun to play with on FIFA. But I think it's unfortunate. Had they got in a group with perhaps Turkey or a Denmark or Ukraine, that would have been a better draw. I think it's going to be difficult to beat Italy in playoff path A. Northern Ireland, not too good. Not too good at all. Northern Ireland are probably as good as New Zealand, maybe not even that good. I like how they play against Slovakia. I like some of the youngsters they have. Connor Bradley's looking pretty good. But yeah, I don't think they do. I don't think they get past the group stage. They haven't been in the World Cup since 1986. I don't think they'll be returning anytime soon. It's good to see them host the Euros next time around in 2028 with England and Ireland and Wales and Scotland. But yeah, I don't think they have the talent pool right now to make it past the group stage, unfortunately. Same thing with Bosnia. Dzeko is old. I don't know if Panic even plays anymore. They have some new players now. The names are very long. I can't pronounce them. Bosnia, I don't see them making them past the group stage. Like I said, they have to go to Cardiff to try to even get to a playoff final. So yeah, I don't see them getting past the group stage should they qualify. I will say this as a Nigerian, Dzeko scored a legitimate goal when we played them in 2014. So that's unfair. I would say as well that Nigeria, we should have had a penalty against Argentina in 2018, but the past is the past, right? So yeah, Bosnia, Dzeko, I would love to see him in another major tournament, but I don't think he has the teammates around him to make that happen. Switzerland. I'm going to say Switzerland are probably above Belgium. Switzerland should be a seed. This should be a pot one seed. Switzerland are, how do you describe Switzerland? So consistently good without producing a superstar. I don't understand. Switzerland are like, oh my God, I don't even know what to compare them to. But this is a very organized, very disciplined team under Murat Yakin. They dismantled Sweden home and away. So they've added Manzambi, they've added Amduni, they've added Dan and Doy, to Xhaka, to Embolo, to Akanji, to Renato Steffen, Ricardo Rodriguez. Very, very talented team. Shaqiri is no longer with them, unfortunately. But Switzerland are probably the most dangerous team in pot two. This team is dynamite. They're very, very good. They saw how they beat Italy quite easily in the Euro 2024. This is a team that could get to a World Cup semifinal. Yes, for real. It's a team you always forget about, but because they don't have a superstar. And Bolo is a good player. Xhaka is a good player, not quite superstars. But Switzerland are a team that could push for a World Cup semifinal. The furthest they've done is quarterfinal, but the World Cup was only one knockout stage. It was quarterfinal right after the group stage. Switzerland has never won a World Cup knockout stage match. They should. I hope they should win at least two. That should be their objective. Win at least two games this time. And this is a team in the not too distant future. You will talk about them as a contender to win the whole team with their model of the youth development plus the immigration they receive. Plus, they're very hardworking mindset. The Swiss, this is a team that can really, really push any contender at this World Cup. Iraq, surprise here. I'm putting Iraq in knockout stage. Hussein and these other guys, Iqbal. I think it'll be very motivated to play World Cup in the United States. I think that not the most talented team, but they're very defensively organized. They're very defensively intense. They don't give too many chances. The thing with Iraq, they make a lot of stupid mistakes defensively in terms of fouls, right? So they're organized defensively, but they'll commit a silly foul and get a red card, and that could cost them the game. So look at Hussein in the Asian Cup, takes off his shirt or celebrates for too long, gets a red card. They lose the game to Jordan. They shouldn't have. South Korea, they were tying 0-0 with the Koreans. What happens? What happens? What's his face? Uh, they get another red card there. That costs them the game. So really, Iraq are a team that should be doing much better. They should be doing much better with their pedigree, but I don't see them getting any further than a knockout stage. But because they're in the United States, this is a team I could really see at least get to a round of 16 because they'll be very motivated to play in the United States, given what that has happened in the past with them, right? Pardon me, guys. As I'm doing this, I realize I haven't put a couple of teams here, so I'm gonna add a few teams here. I don't think I covered. Pardon me here. Let's get back to it. Next on my list, what do I have here? Let me add a few teams. Got Japan. How could I forget Japan? One of the premier talents. Okay, next up, Uruguay. Uruguay, my gosh. Uruguay are a shell of what they used to be. Bielsa needs to go. They need to pull the plug now, or else this team is going to crash and burn at the World Cup. Uh, Darwin Nunez has not been who we thought he could be. Their 5-1 loss to the United States is very, very concerning. This is a team with uh, Real Madrid players, Tottenham players, players like Araujo at Barcelona. So it's a team that should be doing much better, but they're lacking a focal point in their attack, and that's really hurting them. Um, Uruguay, their Garra Charrua can probably get them to a knockout stage, but if wholesale changes are not made, I don't see them getting past the round of 32. A two-time champion, but they're going to really struggle. They don't make coaching changes, and they don't find a very good striker very soon. Scotland, the Brave. Wow, Scotland are they're another team you don't know what you're going to get with them, but they have two superstars that can really galvanize this team to new heights. So your McTominays and your Andy Robertsons. These are guys who play with the heart on their sleeve. They really love their country and their people. Scottish fans they're very fun. They're very passionate. It'll be fun to get to know at the World Cup. Cinderella story. I think what holds this team back is everybody else. So apart from Robertson and McTominay, there's a little bit of a paucity of quality strikers, of quality goalkeeping as well. Angus Gunn and these other guys, I don't think they're that good. So Scotland, because of their two superstars, I would say Cinderella story. But this is a team with the kind of history they have. They're the second oldest football association. They should be doing a lot better, So I'll say Cinderella just because of the momentum that they're on and the two superstars. But Scotland are a little bit lacking in various departments. I'd love to see them do well, but they need to make some changes and develop a lot more players. I would say a player to watch out for from Scotland is John McGinn. This is a guy who he's kind of a player. He scores against the run of play quite often. That's the kind of player you want in a World Cup. Things are not going your way. Somebody can just pop up with a random goal and help your team get a 1-0 lead or tie a game. So John McGinn, also Kenny McLean, these are players to watch out for Scotland. This is a team that if everything clicks, they could be a force in the World Cup, but they need to develop in some departments like goalkeeping and strikers. Croatia, wow. Croatia, I'm going to put Croatia at the top of Cinderella. I think they're a little bit too old to be considered a contender. Luka Modric, man, this guy is defying father time every time he touches the field. Perisic, you go watch Perisic against Faroe Islands, dominated the game. Still one of the fastest players in the world, even at his age. Croatia, wow. This is a team you don't want to come up against. Just like Argentina, especially in penalties with Livakovic. They're very gritty, very well organized. Their midfield can dominate anybody else's midfield. I think though without a quality striker like Mandzukic, without Brozovic and Rakitic, they're going to struggle a little bit against the best teams. But you don't want to take this team to penalties because Livakovic, man, like Emi Martinez, loves those situations. And Luka Modric, this is his last World Cup. They're gonna rally around him. And they're going to want to get him back to the semifinals. This is a country that has never won anything in their history, but they've been close so many times. So Croatia can do very well. This is a team you don't want to face, especially Canada, after what happened at the last World Cup. But Croatia are probably the top Cinderella team. Quarterfinal, semifinals possible again. I'm just wondering, should a game go into extra time? Modric? How will his legs fare? When you're having to play 120 minutes against some of the best teams in the world. My only question mark with it. Iran. Wow. Iran they've been on quite a journey over the last 10, 15 years. This is a team that were very defensive in 2014 in Brazil, lacking completely offensively. Now they're pretty much the other way around. They play very attack-minded football. Defensively, they have declined substantially. So Taremi, Azmoun, Jahan Bashk, they can score on anybody, but Iran are going to give up a lot of goals at this World Cup. They're not solid defensively whatsoever. I think they have never made it past the group stage. This is the World Cup to do it. I think no further than round of 32, just because they're so poor defensively. It's going to really come back to haunt them. But this is a team. Trump hates this country. Trump hates this country. This could have a galvanizing effect on them because of how hard the Americans will make it for Iranians to get to this World Cup. This is going to motivate the team to do well. I could see a round of 32, maybe a round of 16 push from this Iranian team. Taremi is a fantastic player at Olympiacos. I would love to really see him put his country on the back and take Iran to new heights. Korea, Son, Kim Min Jae, Hwang Hee Chan. These guys are good. They've played in a couple World Cups before. South Korea, unlike Japan, most of their players play in the K League, the Korean League. That hurts them. That hurts them a lot. When you come up against the European and South Americans, you want to have that pedigree, that background. So I think they could probably make a round of 16, especially as a pot two team. But yeah, I think Korea are limited. I think Son is still a superstar. Like Mane, like Mahrez, he's kind of dipped a little bit, but he's still a superstar. So he can really lead his country. South Korea, round of 16. Obviously, not going to get the kind of help they did in 2002, but round of 16 makes sense for this team again. Son is a superstar. He's playing for LAFC. He's used to American football now. I think he's really going to shine. I hope that Kangin Lee and Hwang Hee Chan and the others, Hwang In Bom, they support him. South Korea they have a lot of their diaspora in the United States, especially in Houston. So they'll be well supported. I hope they do well. But yeah, I think because they don't have so many European-based players, it's going to hurt them a little bit at this World Cup. Deutschland, wow. What do you say about Germany? Nagelsmann is one of my favorite coaches. I think they have to be in contender. They have to be in contender ahead of Colombia, below Brazil. I think the key for Germany, Musiala has got to come back fit and firing. Wirtz has got to find his way with Liverpool. That would help them. And defensively, I'm worried about Germany though. I don't know Rudiger and Todd. They're not Mertesacker and Arne Friedrich or Mertesacker and Benedict Howard of the past. Germany might give up some goals. They're going to score a lot too with Woltemata and with Amiri and Pavlovic and all of these guys. I think Germany are not quite win a World Cup level, but this is a team you don't want to face. They will take down a couple of names before they go out. I just think Germany are not quite win a World Cup level this time around. This is not 2014 Germany. This is not 2006 Germany. They have a few question marks, a lot of youth who are inexperienced, always talented, but I think quarterfinal might be their limit unless Musiala and Wirtz can really propel them a little bit further. So yeah, Germany are going to be fun to watch. They'll play great football like they did in the Euros, but I think quarterfinal max might be the limit. England, it's coming home. This team, man, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I think England have to be a favorite. Spotless record in qualifying. Scored like 30 goals or whatever, conceded none. I would say below France, ahead of Portugal in terms of ranking. The thing with England, though, their media is so toxic. They put a lot of pressure on these players that it hurts them. They crumble in the big moments. I think Cole Palmer makes a huge difference for England. He's a player who's naturally clutch. He's not afraid of the big moment. He'll help them. Same with Jude Bellingham. They have Saka, they have Eze, they have Rashford, they have Stones, they have Rice, they have Harry Maguire, they have a good goalkeeper in Pickford. There's no England have everything they need. I think it's their mentality that holds them back. They shrink sometimes when the light is on the brightest. But I hope they can get to at least a semifinal. I don't think they're gonna win. I don't think Tuchel is the right man for this job, but England can get to a semifinal. Like I said, they're playing in the United States and Canada. They should be well supported. A lot of Americans and Canadians are of English descent, so they'll support them well. I just don't see them as champions because, first, their media holds them back, and especially Harry Kane. I hate to say it, they have a history of shrinking in the biggest moments. You know, when the heat is on, England kind of fade away. They're not the same team. They always go with a very toxic, arrogant mindset too, and they're always disappointed. So I don't know. I think they're the favorites to win the Euros in 2028, but England, I think, once again, they'll be the bridesmaid, but not the bride at this World Cup, unfortunately. Haiti pour pour la famille, pour les ancêtres. Haiti have been devastated by everything you can think of. They've gone through war, earthquakes, hurricanes, gang violence, political upheavals. They've gone through everything. No country has suffered more than this beleaguered little island. It's amazing that they got through here. They have not played a single game at home. Their coach, the Frenchman Mignet, has never been to their country. The federation say you cannot go. It's too unsafe to go there. Can you imagine? Could you imagine what life is like in Port-au-Prince right now? Gangs running all over. Haiti are another country that Trump hates. So, like I said with Iran, because of Trump's Trump and his and advance and all of those guys, they're going to make it difficult for Hades to get visas to come to the World Cup. This could have a galvanizing effect on them, and they could really do something at this tournament. I think that Haiti are a very good offensive team. Defensively, they're borderline atrocious. They're going to get cut up and sliced up, but I think they could score on pretty much anybody. With the extra motivation, I will put them at the bottom of knockouts, round of 32, no further. There's some good players with Nazon, Bellegarde, Isidore from Sunderland is joining their team. Jean Jacques, Passius, some good players, but I don't know. Fafa Pico of Inter Miami, but I don't think they, because of the defensive posse, they're really going to struggle when they come up against any quality team at this World Cup. Panama, I'll put Panama in the same boat as Haiti. Uh, Maybe a little bit more talented than Haiti with Carrasquilla and Puma Rodriguez and these other guys. But Panama, their team, they foul so much. Man, they're going to give up a free kick or a corner. That's going to cost them. They're very overzealous team defensively, so they need a little bit more discipline, a bit more patience in their style. They're much better than they were in 2018. I will say that, but knockouts, maybe round of 32 with a kind draw. Yeah, but Panama are obviously Cecilio Waterman is a good player. They have Godoy, they have Escobar, but Panama are limited offensively, and unless they get a kind draw, I would say group stage fodder. I would say because they're playing almost in their own backyard, knockouts max, but that's about it. Canada, oh my goodness, this team has come a long way. This country has come a long way from losing 8-0 to Honduras before to now a team that's gone to two consecutive World Cups. Very impressive. Big question for Canada: how Alfonso Davies, when he comes back, what condition will he be for a World Cup? You know, he hasn't played in a long time, club or country. Canada, we have a game in Toronto, and we have two games in Vancouver. Depending on our draw, we may or may not be the favorite to win the group. I don't know how Canada would perform in the United States. Should they have to leave their comfort zone? But Canada are a very talented team. Jonathan David, Alfonso Davies, Alistair Johnston, Eustachio, Promise David, Kone, Richie Larea. Household names nowadays. I'm just wondering. Canada are a team that defensively solid under Jesse Marsh. I'm just wondering, a team when the lights come on, in Toronto, when they start singing the national anthem, how are they going to react to now to having expectations on them? Qatar was easy; there was nothing on them. The Copa America, there was no pressure on them. How will they respond as a host nation? That'll be interesting to see. But I'm going to have Canada as a Cinderella story. I think that Canadians don't love the sport like other nations do, but I think with the bevy of talents we have, this could be the opportunity to really showcase what Canada's about. And I think that we could have a good World Cup, but we need a kind draw. Should we get a group of death, even with home field advantage, it might not be enough to even get out of that group. Mexico. Mexico. My goodness, this team is in shambles right now. I'm going to put them in contender simply because of pedigree and reputation. There's nothing about their form that inspires me to rank them higher. Pardon the badge, I didn't have it clipped properly. Mexico, Raul Jimenez is carrying this team on his back. Um, Alvarez, Gilberto Mora, some good players around him, but Mexico are kind of in the doldrums a little bit. Their loss to Paraguay, their 4-0 loss to Colombia is really concerning. A talented team, but compared to what we've seen from Mexico in the past, they're lacking in a lot of areas. Memo Ochoa not being on the team is a loss. So we'll see how Mexico does. They have games in Mexico City and Guadalajara, so they should at least make the round of 16. They should at least get El Quinto Partido finally, probably even more. But Mexico, things are just not right with the federation. I don't know if Aguirre is the right man for this job, but I hope Mexico does well because Mexico doing well will bring a positive atmosphere and vibe to this World Cup, a good ambiance. But yeah, Raul Jimenez, Santi Jimenez, Quinones, these guys have to step up. They cannot fail. They cannot fail at home at all. Last two teams, Japan. See, I don't want to go. A lot of people are overrating a lot of these teams. I'm going to put Japan ahead of Morocco slightly. Cinderella story. Japan have never won a knockout game in a World Cup, despite winning groups on multiple occasions, despite producing the likes of Minamino and Kamada and Haraguchi and Mitoma and all these guys. Japan, they fold like origami in the pressure moments. They defensively, when you challenge them physically, they wilt under the pressure. They're a very talented team. They can cut you to ribbons with their passing and movement. But in the pressure moment, they have faded away. They've disappointed many times. I think that I think what's different about this Japanese team, they've improved defensively with Sugawara, with Sakai. But I think a lot of questions persist with Japan. I would love to see them get to a quarterfinal. They're going to be very well supported. People love Japan. They love their culture, sushi, anime, all of that. But I think as well they don't have a true superstar scorer as well. Ueda and Furuhashi are not quite those guys. So lacking that out and out striker might hurt them. But it's a solid team. It's a fantastic team to watch. Uh, I will cheer for them. But like I said, they've wilt a lot under the intensity of a World Cup spotlight. I'm not quite sure why this World Cup would be different, but let's see. Last team, Albania. I say knockout stage. They're very impressive. Albania are pretty good. Um, Beating Serbia, that must feel good for them. But I think Albania, with your Romanis and whatnot, they don't have the World Cup experience. They're a very passionate country like Turkey. I think they would benefit from this. This World Cup might be a stepping stone for them to greater things, but I think round of 32 max makes sense for them. I love how they played against Spain, against Croatia, and Italy in the Euros. They were not shy. They took their opportunities. I think Albania have a little bit of growing to do. This is a team. Should they get to a World Cup, I think they'll be a hipster's pick. They'll be fun to watch. But I think let's look at their players right now. Broha, Asani, Manaj, Strakosha, Bayrami. So well-known names for such a small country. I think Albania are maybe 4 or 5 years away from being a true World Cup team. But if they make the World Cup, it's a tremendous step. So thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Pardon me. There's no way. I forgot Ecuador. No way. I forgot Ecuador. Pardon me. Let me rank Ecuador. I just not. There's so many things I forgot. Some pardon me here. I'll do one more. I forgot